Hi guys, it's Suga Tech's camera comparison, the LG G6 Plus and the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.
Dual camera versus dual camera. How will these two phones compare to each other? What's up guys? Austin here. Join us as these two phones go head to head in our tests. But first, let's look at the specs of these phones. The LG G6 Plus has a 13 megapixel 1.8 and a 13 megapixel 2.4 wide-angle rear camera and a 5 megapixel 2.2 wide-angle front camera, while the Samsung Note 8 has a 12 megapixel 1.7 dual pixel and a 12 megapixel 2.4 telephoto front camera with dual tone LED flash and optical image stabilization. It also has a 8 megapixel front camera. Now let's move on to our first test, the macro shots. Let's check out how the G6 Plus macro shot came out. As we can see here, G6 Plus has a warm tone to it and it also has some noise, but it's still pretty good. While the Note 8 on the other hand is super sharp and the colors are spot on. It also has little to no noise. Now let's put the two side by side and see how they did. The Note 8's image shows that it has better focus and detail compared to the LG G6 Plus. It is evident that the Note 8 gives a more accurate color and focus compared to the LG G6 Plus. Time for the indoor shots. The G6 Plus did really well on this test. It has that warm tone to it, but the image is really sharp and detailed. We took photos from both the dual cameras of the G6 Plus and got the same results. The G6 Plus tends to make the shadows darker and the highlights brighter, making the photos higher in contrast but dulling down the details. Moving on to the Note 8, it favors a lower ISO, making the photos more detailed and avoiding overblown lights and shadows. Since the Note 8 also has a dual camera setup, we took pictures on both of them and we also got the same sharp results. Putting the two side by side, at first glance you can see that both of the photos have really good color accuracy and detail. However, by looking at them side by side close like this, you will notice that the Note 8 provides more detail and quality than that of the LG G6 Plus. With the high dynamic range or HDR test, the LG G6 Plus brings out details of the shadows and highlights, resulting in a much sharper and vibrant image. Again, we took photos using both cameras of the phone. Taking a look at the Note 8's photo, we got the same results. It also boosted the highs and lows and brought more details. Putting them side by side, we can almost see no difference between the two at first glance. Look closer, then you can spot minute differences like the greens on the G6 Plus is more vibrant, but the whites on the Note 8 are brighter. Both did an excellent job. Now it's time for some low-light tests. The LG G6 Plus boosts the ISO a lot, making it brighter, but sacrificing the details. It also does the same when using it with a flash. While the Note 8 on the other hand also boosts the ISO, but it has a lot less noise and a lot more detail. The same can be said when using it with the flash. Looking at them side by side, the difference is pretty clear between the two. The G6 Plus is as bright as the Note 8, but the Note 8 has a lot less noise while still retaining its sharpness and brightness. Coming up next is a selfie test. The G6 Plus uses a 5 megapixel wide-angle front camera and it shows. As you can see here, the picture is bright but it has some noise to it. On the other hand, the Note 8 uses an 8 megapixel front camera, making it show a lot more detail and have a cleaner and sharper image. Looking at them side by side, you can clearly see some similarities and differences between the two. Both of them have really nice vibrant colors. The G6 Plus is just a little bit noisier than the Note 8. Those 3 extra megapixels go a long way when taking selfies. Now let's talk about the video stabilization. While walking, the LG G6 Plus stabilizer isn't doing much help, it's still pretty shaky. On the other hand, the Note 8 is making the video smoother while walking with its stabilizer. Looking at them side by side, you can clearly see that the LG G6 Plus is a lot more shaky and jerky compared to the smoother Note 8. On to the 4K video test. The LG G6 Plus prefers to boost up the ISO, making the video a little bit noisy, especially around the lighted areas and shadows. Looking at the Note 8's 4K video, it prefers a lower ISO, allowing more detail to come in, while still making the video very colorful and vibrant. Putting them side by side, you can see the difference between the G6 Plus and the Note 8. The G6 Plus is brighter than the Note 8's video, but the lights are a little bit overblown, and the sign on the piano blocks has some noise to it, while on the Note 8 there's almost little to no noise at all. Moving on to our last test, the slow-mo test. The G6 Plus shoots at 120 FPS at 720p. As we can see here, the video is rather blurred, but it's still in 720p, but the slow-mo is there. The Note 8 on the other hand shoots at 240 frames per second, but it's also at 720p. By shooting at 240 frames per second, the slow motion of the Note 8 is super smooth and sharp. Comparing the two, the Note 8 is much sharper and smoother than the G6 Plus, due to the fact that the Note 8 shoots at 240 frames per second rather than 120 frames per second. That about wraps up our comparison of the LG G6 Plus and the Note 8. Which one do you guys think was better? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future videos. Once again, this is Austin. See you in the next one.